Welcome back. Here with us on Times Now. Viewers, India has successfully managed to beat Pakistan into submission. India's hostile neighbor, a failed state where the priority is army, not providing atta to its citizen, went scrambling for a ceasefire facing an intense Indian retaliation. The terror hubs Pakistan had curated stand highlighted. Pahalgam was avenged. Pakistan's nuclear bluff was called off. The ceasefire understanding is an undeclared and undisputed Indian victory. Wars and hostilities divide, but they also unite it. Prime Minister Modi's action since Operation Sindoor was launched is being lauded by some of its biggest critics as well. For example, Congress leader Shashi Tharoor, who emerged as a sane, neutral voice in the last few tense days, he has lauded the government for its approach in this war-like situation. But viewers, domestically, it seems the political ceasefire agreed to during the all-party meeting on 24th of April is now being violated. Right after the ceasefire understanding became headline, INDIA bloc netas are out, their political guns blazing. And to target the government, while Pakistan was slow in enforcing ceasefire, multiple INDIA bloc netas began a new chant. They dragged in late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. They pulled out the 1971 Indo-Pak war from the hat. A political narrative to undermine the government was constructed that the present government failed to deal with Pakistan like Mrs. Indira Gandhi did in 1971. Let me point out, by the way, even on this, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, despite being a congressman, has said that it would be foolish to compare 1971 to 2025, considering the different circumstances. To push this narrative, Congress, led by Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha, has demanded a special session to be called soonest to discuss India's response. There is a letter written by Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge to back Rahul Gandhi's demand. BJP has come out hard against Congress and opposition for undermining the nation in these times. By the way, viewers, I'd like to quickly add one point here that 1971 cannot be compared with 2025. Remember, in 1971, Pakistan didn't own a nuclear bomb. There was no nuclear threat. Pakistan began developing nuclear weapons in January 1972 under then Pakistan Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. But politics has already started. Listen in to what the leaders are saying.
Well, this is a sentiment which is being felt by the entire country today. 140 crore Indians are missing Indira Gandhi today.
इंदिरा गांधी होती तो पाकिस्तान क्या हिम्मत होती क्या? 1971 का वॉर हमने देखा है ना. 90,000 पाकिस्तानी जवान घुटने पर आए थे.
See, the fact is that, to my mind, we had reached a stage where the escalation was needlessly getting out of control. Peace is necessary for us. The truth is that the circumstances of 1971 are not the circumstances of 2025. There are differences.
There is some sane voice in an insane party. That's what I can say about Mr. Shashi Tharoor. And Government of India is a very responsible government under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. And we know when and where and how long to continue.
And to discuss this, I'm joined by Shehzad Poonawalla, BJP's national spokesperson. We also have with us Tehseen Poonawalla, who is a political analyst, and both of them are joining me here in the Noida studios. Good evening to both of you. Tehseen, I want to begin this discussion with you. Should the opposition force the government for a tell-all parliament session even when the heat of an armed conflict has not subsided?
Heena, thank you so much for having me at the show. At the onset, congratulations to the present government, to our forces for a brilliant Operation Sindoor, and it was executed perfectly in that night between 6th and 7th, in that long historic Air Force battle. In 30 seconds, we got 9 of their targets on precision, and we saw that today. So congratulations to the government. We achieved our objectives. I think Dr. Shashi Tharoor and Chidambaram ji are right. This is not the time for war. It isn't a time for war. But what makes India different from Pakistan is that we are an open, robust democracy, as Vikramji himself said it in his press conference on behalf of the government. And I think the parliament represents the collective voice of the people. So if the honorable leader of opposition wants to have a parliament session, a special session where the most honorable prime minister addresses the nation via parliament, and please remember the most honorable prime minister skipped both the all-party meetings, I think that's a legitimate demand. You can't hold the opposition irresponsible for that. I think that's a very legitimate demand by the honorable leader of opposition, something the honorable prime minister must consider and should happen. Number two, I think it's also important that the BJP spokesperson tell us very clearly, without mincing three things. We're very proud of our armed forces. We've achieved our targets. But what Marco Rubio is saying, that listen, we will talk at a neutral venue. Now, Jai Shankarji has not rebutted that. What has come through sources. Number two, why was President Trump, and we've not answered, why is he breaking the news? You may say President Trump was excited, first finger first. Why did he break the news? And number three, the hyphenation of India and Pakistan is unacceptable. All prime ministers have worked very hard, including Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. These are things that are unacceptable to us. So I think these are questions that the BJP must answer, and answer to the people of India via parliament.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala.
I'm just hoping that Times Now doesn't claim that it has started mediation process between Tehseen and Shehzad Poonawala. Anybody can claim anything. I'm not here to substantiate claims, especially of world leaders, because the fact of the matter is that unlike Mr. Nehru, we've not run to United Nations trying to internationalize Kashmir against Mr. Patel's views. We are not the ones who have begged with a bowl to any country to come and mediate. And what is mediate in Kashmir, by the way? There is only 2 points of discussion. One, when is Pakistan vacating Pakistan-occupied Kashmir? Two, when it is stopping terrorism. So there is frankly no mediation that can be done in this issue anyways. So why should I answer a hypothetical question? Having said that, let me come to another point. Yes, Tehseen Poonawala is absolutely right. Parliament is great forum. We must have discussions. We've seen that every time that Parliament, they have asked for discussions on various subjects, how much they stuck to it. But having said that, what is their main point? Operation Sindoor and what has happened in that. Today the armed forces has briefed on that. Don't you believe the armed forces? Oh yes, surgical strike, khun ki dalali thi. Balakot airstrike, chil kawe mare. So these are the people who will cite all these great examples, but they don't trust their own armed forces. And by the way, what ceasefire? By the way, we don't have any ceasefire with Pakistan. Let me make it amply clear that all we have is a limited understanding. Please, Tessin, let me complete. We have a limited understanding, and the understanding today is on these bases. Unlike 1971, we've not released 93,000 prisoners of war without coming to a conclusion or anything. We haven't left land that was taken by the army. We haven't given any concessions. We have shifted the needle on IWT, Indus Water Treaty, and we have read the Riot Act that ab ghar mein ghus ke marenge is the new template. It is an institutionalized template of response. Secondly, the institutionalized template of response is ke goli aayegi to gola milega samne, and we have done it very, very categorically, whether it is taking out the 9 terrorist camps, eliminating high-value terrorists, or whether it is even going and striking the military bases and Air Force bases, and you can count the coffins of Pakistan that is there in the public domain. But having said that, let me come to an important issue. You know what they keep citing about parliament session, and they keep citing about strong action. Indira याद आ रही है इनको. कल तक ये de-escalate याद कर रहे थे, आज इंदिरा याद आ रही है. मेरा सिर्फ सवाल तहसीन से इतना है कि 26/11 के बाद इंदिरा याद नहीं आई. 2005 दिल्ली के बाद इंदिरा याद नहीं आई. 2006 वाराणसी, 2006 मुंबई, 2006 मालेगांव, 2007 समझौता, 2008 अहमदाबाद, 2008 मुंबई, 2010 अपने शहर पुणे, 2011 दिल्ली, 2013 हैदराबाद. ये कांग्रेस पार्टी तब यहाँ पे इंदिरा गांधी को क्यों याद नहीं कर रही थी?
May I respond to that question before I answer slightly more?
Why is this comparison between 1971 and 2025? Isn't the claim that 1971 under Indira was a better triumph than 2025 also in a way helping Pakistan's domestic narrative? Should we be doing that?
Indira squandered what we won. All the army, just one last time, Tehseen, one last time. Whatever we gained on the battlefield, Tehseen, this is not against you. You have been a very sane voice, and I appreciate you for that. Whatever we gained on the battlefield was lost on the drawing table by Indira Gandhi in the Shimla Agreement.
Tehseen, respond.
There are 2 issues out here. Number one, it's very easy to bring politics in, something I've avoided. It's very easy for me to come and say as well that why wasn't Indira ji not remembered after Operation Parakram, when we had the highest mobilization of Indian forces on after 13 December 2001 attack on our parliament, and we've had the most number of casualties. This is not a time of politics. I will not do politics. Look, there are 3 questions here. The question that has to be asked is, we've been told repeatedly via sources, an act of terror is now an act of war. Heena, may I ask you, what is the definition of this? Does that mean if one person shoots somebody, say at a Pathankot or some other base, that will be considered an act of war, so the commander has it? This has not been officially confirmed by the government. You see, what they're doing is, in all of this, they're forgetting our armed forces had a strategic and a magnificent advantage. Pakistan admitted that the Lahore air defense system failed. It showed us the dead bodies. Our forces had an advantage. I agree 71 and 2025 are not the same. Pakistan didn't have missiles, neither did, and India had very few missiles.
I want to ask you, Tehseen,
the question is, Heena, you must allow me. You never interrupted me. Please allow me my point.
I have asked you a follow-up question,
but please, I'm not finished with the point for a
follow-up. Do you trust what the armed forces are telling us? No, because Rahul Gandhi is asking for a parliament session. Do you not trust what the armed forces are telling us?
It's not a terrible thing, Heena. Rahul Gandhi ji is the leader of opposition. He's asking for a parliament session. The armed forces have given us absolute evidence, and we have visual evidence.
Then what else do you want from the parliament session?
I will keep quiet. You may continue with the BJP, or please allow me to finish. You've made a question. You're repeating the question. Allow me to answer.
Let's have a civil debate, Tehseen. These are relevant questions. These are relevant questions that are being asked.
But please allow me to answer them, because very sensitive issue. That's why I came to the studio. See, Heena, I'm again repeating, and your viewers will have to unfortunately bear with me, because the question seems to be that you want the same answer. What we've achieved in Operation Sindoor is unprecedented. In that dogfight where both Indian and Pakistani air forces are up, in 30 seconds we destroyed 9 of their targets with precision. The dead bodies were there. It is unreal. We jammed Lahore airport defense system. We know exactly, and we showed Chinese equipment is junk. Unbelievable success. And yes, 2025 and 1971 are not the same. The Pakistan didn't have missiles. 1 second, please. But that does not mean we don't trust our armed forces. The question Tehseen is asking, the question every single Indian is asking, is on our diplomacy, not on our armed forces. Please stop trying to mix the two. We got tremendous success on our ground. You're asking about diplomacy.
1 minute closing comment, please respond, Shehzad.
First of all, Tehseen says it's a terrible assertion that we should doubt our armed forces, yet Rahul Gandhi has said Khoon ki dalali. Yet top leaders of the Congress have said Balakot mein cheel kauve mare. Yet this time you had Mr. Ajay Rai playing with a model of Rafale. Usi Rafale ne kya kiya, Tehseen bata rahe. They said ki surgical strike mein kuch nahi hua, ye Channi ne bola hai. What action was taken on them? In fact, they're the topmost leaders, and Tehseen, person like you, is outside the Congress and saying the right thing, but the people in the Congress, what they are saying. Secondly, Tehseen said that, look, we have done such great action in 1971, etc., etc. Sir, please tell me that all these terrorist attacks, forget what was happening in 1971, Bangladesh, there was a movement of the people, they wanted to create a country. In the question that is comparable, please tell me, Bahawalpur kal se tha kya? 2014 se terror camp tha Bahawalpur mein. When was the last Congress government went and stuck in Punjab of Pakistan? When was the Murid K camp dismantled by Congress party led? It was a question of political will. The political will that we do not need to ask 10 people with a katora in our hands that we should take action against terrorists. We went and we took the action, and this is the strength of our diplomacy today.
Could the politics not wait? Because Operation Sindoor is still continuing. That's my last question. 30 seconds, please respond.
As a vibrant and the world's largest democracy, and somebody who stood by my Prime Minister, and I believe my Prime Minister led us from the front, I do believe my Prime Minister is answerable to 140, 150 crore Indians, and the best way to do it is to Parliament, just like when opposition leader Vajpayee ji, a single MP asked Prime Minister Nehru to come and have a special session during the China war. He obliged, he came and he took questions. It is the duty of my Prime Minister. That's what makes India different from China and the failed nation Pakistan.
Just
all right, okay.
Tehseen, more people were killed in 2005, Delhi, Varanasi, Mumbai, Malegaon, Samjhauta, Ahmedabad, Pune. Can you tell me the parliament held after that to describe the operations?
And therefore the Congress is out of power, and the BJP...
I'm glad you remember that.
And therefore allow Operation Sindoor to at least get over. Then of course politics can happen, because politicians are there, political parties are there, politics will happen. But allow the operation to get over first. Thank you very much, Tehseen as well as Shehzad. Appreciate both of you for a civil debate. And I'm slipping into a short break. More on the other side. Don't go anywhere.